Snakes have been featured all week long here on the National Geographic Channel.
So in keeping with that theme, special correspondent Pat Woodard now introduces us to a man who loves all snakes, but has a very special passion for pythons.
Oh, I love snakes. Nobody likes snakes as much as I do.
When it comes to snakes,
Special. This is a two-headed California king snake.
Bob Clark can't get enough.
I've got thousands.
In fact, Clark owns the country's largest commercial snake breeding operation, based primarily around one kind of snake.
This is a reticulated python. It's an Asian species. Biggest species of snake there is. I sell mostly to private collectors, mostly people that want a snake for pets, also to other people that want to breed pythons, and sometimes to zoos or exhibitions.
Clark breeds his pythons to produce unusual colors and skin patterns. Albinos are especially popular and pricey.
How much would you sell an animal like this for?
The babies of this kind sell for $7,500.
Of course, there are pythons, and there is Fluffy.
This is Fluffy. She's a reticulated python, and I think she's the biggest snake in captivity.
And just how big is that?
Well, as far as length, I'm not sure. She's well over 20 feet, but we do have an accurate weight on her of 310 pounds.
While people like Bob Clark sing the praises of pythons, the general feeling about snakes makes it unlikely they will replace the family dog.
For some reason, most people just don't seem to do very well with snakes. They think they're slimy, and actually their skin's very smooth. But maybe it's the fact that an animal like Fluffy here could crush me in just a couple of minutes if she wanted to.
But our fear of snakes may have less to do with reality than with deeply rooted cultural beliefs.
Snakes are reviled as evil, primarily because of the biblical story of Eve and the snake. In Eastern cultures, the snake is often revered as a symbol of good, a symbol of longevity. One of the important features of snakes is that they shed their skin. And that was seen by ancient culture as a symbol of renewal. And in some ancient cultures, snakes were seen as immortal.
Zoos preserve many species of snakes endangered because humans have destroyed their habitat or killed the snakes themselves.
Secret is, take your time and don't get bit.
For snake keepers, cleaning the cages of some of the world's most venomous reptiles is an interesting job, but the margin of error is zero.
You mess up here, it hurts. Make you cry.
Ooh!
Slowly, the perception of snakes seems to be changing in Western cultures.
In the earlier days, I would hear many more comments, boy, I'd like to shoot that, or it ought to be, you know, I've killed me one of those, or things like that. But it's so refreshing to see young people to seem to have a much greater awareness of the need for conservation, and not just for the warm, fuzzy mammals, but for even snakes.
He's in here to breed with this female.
At Bob Clark's snake breeding facility, the production of new pythons never ends.
I would expect this snake to lay 60 or 65 eggs, which is just a few more than she laid last year. So,
after pythons lay their eggs, they become something other than what most of us would consider cold-blooded.
by small muscle contractions or whatever, it's possible for them to raise their temperature up right about to 90 degrees and maintain it that way for the nearly 3-month incubation period. This one's being good about it. We're not having
Taking new eggs away from a female python will make her available for breeding again. And the 40 eggs from this female will go into an incubator until they hatch in 84 days.
half of these eggs should contain albino reticulated pythons. I have to be very careful with these eggs. They're important.
In a job most of us would avoid like we'd avoid a snake, Bob Clark has found his calling.
It's the perfect job. Not that it doesn't have its own special set of headaches, but it's really something that I enjoy. I can really say I get up in the morning and I'm anxious to come to work, and I get to do exactly what I want to do every day.
In the Chinese calendar, this is the year of the snake. But then for Bob Clark, that's true every year.
I love snakes like nobody does.
In Oklahoma City, this is Pat Woodard for National Geographic Today.